Name that quote. If I didn't put it where I should, which is more than likely, then surely I would have put it here, which it seems I didn't. Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Deborah's Den. My name is Whitney, and today we have another weekly update. So last week did not go as planned. It was a busy week for me, which I did mention in the last video. And yeah, my reading plans just kind of fell apart, but I did make a little bit of progress, so it's something, and I'll get into that in a second. Before I do, though, let me go ahead and let you guys know the answer to last week's quote. So you'll notice at the beginning of each video, I say a quote, and all you have to do is go down in the comments and let me know the book and author, where that quote is from. And then if you want a bonus point, which the points don't matter, it's just for fun, but if you do want a bonus point, you can say the character that said the quote, if there is one. Some of these there may not be one, but so far there has been. So if you don't want it spoiled from last video, definitely go check that one out and then come back to this one. But the quote itself was, "The only regret I will have in dying is if it is not for love." And that was from the book Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Now, this was Florentino reading the words his father wrote. So whether you said Florentino or his father, you would have been correct either way. But yeah, it was Florentino, and he was reading what his father had wrote. And I don't know, I like that quote. And so I have not read the book yet, but I am very excited to in the new year for sure. So that was last week's quote. Head down to the comments and let me know who you think this week's quote's from. There will be a pinned comment, and in the reply section there'll be hints in case you need a little extra help. So, but let's go ahead and talk about the books I read. So like I said, it was a busy week. We had our eye appointments, we had our dental cleaning, some errands and such. And then I had gotten a call from an old client of mine, and they were looking into getting a new service dog. So they asked if I could come kind of look at her and whatnot. And so I ended up doing that on Friday, which I had to go 2 hours north to meet the dog and everything like that. So it was a busy week for sure. So I ended up listening to both the audiobooks that I had on my TBR. I had Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton, and I had Mean Baby by Selma Blair. So I ended up listening to both of those. I actually just finished Mean Baby this morning as I was doing some chores and such. I have to say, Beyond the Wand, I really, really enjoyed. It wasn't fully like all Harry Potter, like that was just a portion of it, because he started off before he kind of got into acting, his childhood, and then his early roles in acting, Harry Potter time, and then after that as well. He talked about all that. So it wasn't like just about his time on Harry Potter, it was his childhood and his story and such. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like, he has such a kind of humor, able to kind of laugh at himself, because he really didn't care. Like, he didn't care about being an actor. It just was kind of something that he did, but he didn't care. Like, he still had an overall normal childhood and such. And so he's kind of able to laugh at himself and some of the things he would do, like on set, or like when he met like these really big actors and actresses and such, some of the things that happened and such. And so there was a lot of humor in it, and it was funny, but there was also other serious moments as well. And I just really enjoyed that. I do want to get a physical copy because I've heard the physical copy has pictures in it. So I would like to eventually get a physical copy of that one, just so I can reread it and look at the pictures as well. I think that would be really, really nice. As far as Mean Baby by Selma Blair goes, that one, there was things I really enjoyed about it, and then other things that I was just like kind of got under my skin. The main one being she jumps around a lot, and there's kind of these tangents, which is fine. Like, it's her memories, it's her recollection, but it made it really hard for me to follow along. Because like Tom Felton, like sometimes he would jump ahead, but he clearly, like, it was very linear, and then he would like, okay, I'm gonna jump ahead to this time frame, or I'm gonna jump back to this time frame. But otherwise, the whole story was very linear. Where with Me and Baby, it was kind of all over the place, like as far as her memories, like there was no linear line to her recollections and such, which is fine. It just made it harder for me to follow along, and like what I enjoyed about the book though is on the outside you would look at some of the things like she did and such and be like, she's very toxic, like she's a very toxic person, but you kind of get to see it from her perspective. And towards the end, when you understand, like, she was battling MS symptoms her whole life, but nobody was diagnosing her. And so she was kind of self medicating from a young age, which she didn't even realize she was doing. So, kind of, you have that lens of why these behaviors were happening instead of just, well, she's being toxic and such. So I kind of really like that you got that different perspective, because there's always something going on under the surface, and people just like to look at, you know, the things that a person's doing and not necessarily why they're doing it or what's going on beneath the surface. So I did enjoy that, and there was moments where she'd be talking about someone and she would really get choked up, and so you really felt that emotion. And I really did enjoy the end when she kind of, it was more linear because she was talking about her diagnosis and such, and so it wasn't as all over the place. And two, you know, learning about her diagnosis and whatnot, and it just makes you so angry. Like, I know myself and my mom and such too, like it's such a battle to get the doctors to like look at you and realize that there's something more going on. And it shouldn't be like that. Like, they shouldn't just brush you off, which is really frustrating. And like I said, it's happened to my mom and myself as well. And so, like, if she had gotten treatment way earlier, like, I mean, she still would have suffered and such, but she at least would have understood. Like she said, when she got that diagnosis, it was almost a relief to her. So, if you like Selma Blair and such, I would say definitely listen to the book, because it kind of gives you kind of that inside look to not only her life, but you know, some kind of behind the scenes of movies and such, which is it's really cool as well. So, but yeah, those were the two audiobooks I listened to, and then I was able to read the next section of Duncton Wood by William Horwood, or the next part, because I did have it broke down in sections, so I read about two sections, because I read the next part. So last night I made it to the final part, which is part 5, the seventh still stone. So that's where I am right now, and I have about 60 pages left. Now I do need to do some work for the service dog. Uh, I need to put some stuff together and whatnot, and plus get this video out. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to knock this out today or not. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping I can get done what I need to get done, and then settle down with this evening and finish it off. As much as I have enjoyed this book, like, I love these moles, which I never thought I would say that, but their lives, like, they're such vivid characters and such. Yeah, I love this book, but I am ready to finish it. I was reading it in October, and now it's 2 weeks into November and I still haven't finished it. So I'm definitely ready to finish it, but I really do enjoy this book a lot. So that's my hope for this evening. Not sure if that will happen. If it doesn't, that's my number one priority tomorrow for sure. And so, other than that, so the books I mentioned last week, only two of those are kind of the same. Um, I wanted to do Lessons from Lucy last week by Dave Barry. that's not going to happen this week because I need kind of a mental break. I was also working on a different project, a little sneak peek here, which took me, because after our eye appointment, they said not to read, because she had to dilate my eyes because it was a new doctor and she wanted to get a really good look. And so they were like, don't read. So I started the project, and then Thursday was the only day I really didn't have anything going on. So I worked all day on the project and then finished it up on Saturday. Um, so that was kind of a lot, plus a busy week already. And so I don't want to work on another project this week. So Lesson from Lucy, I'm going to push off to next week. But I do have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, which needs to go back to the library next week. So I need to get this read. Otherwise, it's going to go back, and I probably will be a while before I check it out again. But this one wasn't originally on my TBR at all. I kind of worked it in, and it's a chunky book as well, but it is one I'm interested in reading. So I will just have to see if I can work it in. And like I said, if I don't, then this one's not getting read this month. It will just go straight back to the library. Other than that, I did already mention I want to read my ABC author books all this month. I want to just knock it out. So next up is my tea author, Chanan, Tigay, The Lost Book of Moses. This one shouldn't be too bad. It's not too long. It's like 300 and something pages. Like 32 pages. Sorry. 332 pages. So not too bad. The font looks pretty easy to read and everything like that. I'm just not sure on the subject matter. And then I also have Exodus Revisited by Leon Uris, which is my U author. These were both supposed to be read last month and I didn't get to them. So really need to knock these out this week. This one's a lot of pictures, so it shouldn't be too bad. So there's those two. And then I thought we'll go ahead and add some other easy ones this week and hopefully get them knocked out. So let's TU. I have my V author, Marcel Vertes. It's all mental. This is gonna be really, really easy. It's pictures and like short little one line sayings and such. So this one's gonna be really, really easy. It's kind of a spoof on psychoanalysis, which should be a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to get that one this week. And then The Monster of Marylebone is my W author by Wayne Worcester. So yeah, hoping to get this. This is really short as well. So should be fairly easy. It's like 260-ish pages. 62 pages. So shouldn't be bad. This is like a Sherlock Holmes and Watson inspired book. So you have a brutal madman is on the loose in London's Tony St. Marylebone neighborhood. Prominent shopkeepers are being viciously murdered and mutilated, and Scotland Yard is at a loss for clues. They have no choice but to turn to Sherlock Holmes for a solution. So we'll hopefully get that one on there as well. So that's kind of, these ones are definitely priority for sure. And then this one, like I said, if I can work it in this week, I definitely will. So I can return it next week. But that is kind of the plan. And then obviously if I have a really good reading week and I can get other reads in there, I definitely will. I still need to continue the Circle Trilogy by Nora Roberts, so that will probably be next on the slate after these ones. And then we'll see what else I can add in as well. But that is it for today. Don't forget to head down to the comments and guess where that quote's from. It is one of these books, so definitely guess. Like I said, there will be clues as well in the pin comment in the reply section. And yeah, let me know what your priority read is this week, how your month has been going so far. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.